So today we're going to talk about the second skill that's extremely important when it comes to being a sales leader, which is holding people accountable. Now I know a lot of you guys, you hate holding people accountable because you don't want to get in people's faces. You don't like conflict. You don't want to fight. You don't want to argue. But this is exactly why holding people accountable is going to eliminate that conflict, eliminate that confrontation, eliminate all that uncomfortable, weird vibes when you're trying to get someone to do something that they said they're going to do, okay? Very simple. So understand that in order to get into this skill set, okay, you have to understand the skill set that we previously talked in the other video, which is having critical conversations, right? Because if you don't have critical conversations with people, you're not going to be able to hold people accountable. Like you have to have critical conversations with people, and if they mess up, it's like a revolving door loop, right? They get into a critical conversation with you, now you have to hold them accountable. They don't do it again, you got to get back into the critical conversation, okay? So, the first thing you have to understand about holding people accountable, you can't hold someone accountable if you have not pre-framed them properly and have the proper expectations early on. For example, when you tell people all the expectations that you expect, for example, let's say you hire a editor as an example, right? You want to edit your videos, okay? Or let's put in your example. Let's say you hire a sales manager, okay? And you want that manager to manage the office. And you have a specific 2-3 things that he has to do every single morning. He walks in, he has to brew the coffee, he's got to do this, he's got to do whatever it may be, okay? If you tell him what needs to get done early on, it's much easier to hold him accountable when he doesn't do it. Because if you try to hold him accountable without telling him that he needed to do it or giving the proper expectations, they're going to get upset at you. The only reason why you have a lot of conflict with people and when you try to hold them accountable is because you have not properly pre-framed them. You have not properly set the expectations early on. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, when you set up the pre-frame and you set up the expectations, you have to give them a game plan. You have to give them a game plan and figure out what is their why. Like, why are they doing this in the first place? Because if you don't game plan with them and give them an expectation with a set plan of what the goals are and what their goals are, like, why would they do it? You have to know what is their why, because then you can literally poke them in the middle of them not doing it and say, hey, didn't you want this brand new car by the end of the month for your mom? Didn't you want to do X, Y, and Z for your grandparents? Didn't you want to take care of your wife and take her on a spa day? And you're telling me that, like, why are you doing this? Why are you not hustling on this weekend when you said you wanted to work on Saturday, right? So you can hold them accountable because you have a game plan set up for them and you know their why, right? And I'll explain to you guys how to do that in a second. Once you figure out the game plan, like they need to do X, Y, and Z, and you figure out what's important to them, now you can focus on the follow-up. Now, a lot of people don't follow up in sales, and that is a big, like you have to follow up. Follow up in everything. You follow up with your customers, you follow up with your salespeople, you follow up with your leaders, you follow up with vendors, you follow up with everybody. Everyone gets a follow-up. As a matter of fact, if you've been talking to your mama for the past 5, 10, 15 years, you've been following up with your mama. Okay, you're always following up. Okay, don't forget that. And following up doesn't mean, hey, what's up? How you doing? Following up is saying, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? You know, obviously have a good conversation. And then you say, hey, remember we talked about X, Y, and Z? How are you holding up? How's that going for you? Because if you put a game plan for someone in the beginning of the month and you expect them by the end of the month to remember all of that, life smacks them, guys. They're not going to remember, right? Even if it's their duty and responsibility, you have to follow up. Like in my team, in my operations team, the operations manager, every single week, she follows up. Once a week, she has a one-on-one call with everybody and goes through what they need to go through. And she follows up with them. You have to. How do you not follow up, right? It's very important. Number 4 is you have to ask the right questions, right? It's not just, hey, how you doing? And just saying, how you holding up? It's asking the proper questions and figuring out, hey, what's the status? What's the update? How come you haven't done it so far? It's June 15th. You still haven't read the book. It's June 22nd. You still haven't bought the book? You still haven't thought of buying the book. Why not? What's going on? What's holding you back? Why don't you buy the book? Okay, you told me you're going to do X, Y, and Z. Why haven't you done it so far? What's the update on that? What's the status? You're figuring out why they haven't done it. Okay? Number 5, you remind them why. And you're their cheerleader. Okay? Remember, if they're not doing something, it's because they're not motivated to do it. So you got to figure out why. Like, remind them why they did this in the first place. Hey, didn't you tell me that you wanted to, take care of your mama this week? Don't you want to make the extra commission bonus this weekend so that you can actually take care of your mom next week? Like, it's July 4th weekend. It's Mother's Day. It's whatever. Like, remind them the why. Remind them. Paint them that picture. We do this for customers all the time when we rehash with them, right? Why don't we do that with our salespeople? So you got to be their cheerleader. Be cheering for them. Believe in them. Love them. right? Take care of them because listen, your team and your people, they love you to death. If they're not doing something, it's not because they don't love you. It's not because they don't care about you. It's not because they don't believe in you. It's because they don't believe in themselves. Or they don't believe that doing that action is going to get them the result. That's it. So you got to be their cheerleader because everyone else is putting them down. Everyone else is stepping on them. So you got to be their cheerleader. Next, number 6, don't be afraid to be blunt. Like, be straightforward. Hey, Joe, you told me you wanted to retire your wife by the end of the year. Why are you still home? Why are you not working with your team? Hey, Bobby, you told me you wanted to buy a car for your mom and you're still sitting here in the office? Like, what are you doing? Hey, be blunt. Don't be afraid of hurting people's feelings. Nobody cares about that. They care about results. I don't care about them getting hurt because I did a lot of things to remind them that I care for them. Which leads me to the 7th thing, which is empathy. When you lead with empathy, they're not going to be afraid or upset that you were blunt with them. They're going to respect you. They're going to love you because you showed empathy. You showed that you care for them. It's not just you being blunt because you want to get them to do something for yourself. You're being blunt because you truly care about them succeeding and getting that thing they always wanted, which is what you found out in the beginning of the conversations. So it's very important to be blunt and have empathy with that, right? So people know that your heart is a velvet brick. That's what people need to know, that you care for them. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Very important. Nobody gives a crap about you until they know exactly that you care about them. It's very important to know that, okay? Next, number 8, don't let them off the hook. Powerful. If someone said they're going to do something, you already know, baby, I'm holding you accountable to the day you die. You're going to get it done. And that is what a true leader does to their people. They lead them. They don't kiss them on the backs. They take care of them and they lead them to the promised land. My job is to make you better. My job is not for you to like me and love me and all this nonsense. You're going to like me. You're going to love me. Okay, fine. Not always, maybe, right? But you're definitely going to respect me because I'm going to bring the best out of you. And I want to hold you accountable because you know for a fact that I care. You know I know about your why and your game plan, and you know I'm going to stay on top of your ass. I'm not letting you off that hook. Hell no. You're going to get the job done. And when you get the job done, you're going to be proud of yourself, and I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader on the planet. And then we can focus on the next thing to hold you accountable, and that is how you lead people through tough times. That is how you lead people through tough challenges, and that is how you lead people in general. Do not let people off the hook. So we're going to recap quickly. Number 1, you pre-frame, have the proper expectations. Number 2, you game plan with them and figure out what is their why. What's the game plan and what is their why? Next, you follow up consistently. Not once a month, not once a year. You always follow up. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Stay on top of them. When you're in their face, they're going to be reminded of the things that they said they're going to do, right? They're going to, if you put your face in front of them, they're going to remember everything they promised you that they're going to do. It's very important. Next, questions and updates. Ask them questions. Dig a little deeper. It may hurt a little bit, but it's okay. Hold them accountable. Poke. Okay? Next, remind them why and be their biggest cheerleader. Why is very important. And clap for them. Remember, sometimes they don't believe in themselves. You got to believe in them and help them accomplish that greatness. Next, be blunt. Don't be afraid, my friend. Don't be afraid to go straight shoot and tell them exactly what needs to get done. They will respect and they will love you because of that. Number 7, make sure you do it with love. Make sure you do it with empathy so that they know that you care. Don't just say you care. Make sure they feel it, right? If they don't feel it, this whole thing goes to, this goes to the garbage. They have to feel like you care about them. Okay? And last thing, don't let them off the hook. Don't let them off the hook. If they say they're going to do something, they better complete it. So I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. If you love this kind of content, you're a sales leader, a business owner, an entrepreneur, you're building a sales team, you're building a team in general, what I would love for you to do is click the like button, comment, show me some love, and do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because we're about to get to 100,000+ subscribers. That's our goal. 100,000 subscribers right now. I need your love. I need you to help me out. Share this with some people that this can help with. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much.